Hey there YouTube, this is sjm4306 back with another video. This time, it's another ICStation video. It's been a little while since I've done one of these, and yeah, it was about time due, and with the holiday season approaching, they're running different sales, and they have new products too. So they sent me two of these products, and the first one is like a little Christmas tree soldering kit. I might just do this off camera and then show you the end result. This is just going to be a couple of surface mount parts and whatnot. But yeah, I'll do this real quick and show you at the end of the video. But the more interesting one to me is this guy. And this is like a DIY soldering calculator. And yeah, you can see the PCB here. It has a bunch of buttons. It's a calculator. It runs off of coin cells. I thought this is actually a pretty neat project, and it has a couple different like calculation modes. Obviously, it acts like a regular calculator, but I believe it also does resistance color codes and a couple other things. So that's actually really cool. We'll check that out in a sec. But yeah, let's get this guy open and see exactly what the kit entails. Yeah, love assembling these kits. These are honestly, these are great gifts to give. These are perfect for like getting like kids and stuff into soldering, and like I'm not a kid, but I enjoy putting together these kits as well. This does come with 2 coin cell batteries, CR2032, so that's a nice touch. So I don't have to dig through my pile. I have some randomly here, but some are dead. Includes keycaps, and I believe it has all the labels as well. More keycaps. They have clear ones and blue ones. All these relatively large tack switches. A 16 by 2 LCD, and it's one of these white text on blue background ones. And yeah, there you go. And in addition to that, we have an actual case too. So this isn't just a bare PCB. This is probably going to be one of those things that is more useful, I would say. Once you're done building it, you get something that you can actually use every day. As much as I like projects, most of my projects are just bare PCBs. It's really nice that they went the extra mile, and there's actually like a really nice injection molded case. So huge kudos for that. I believe this kit wasn't particularly expensive. I think it was like somewhere in the $20 to $30 mark. If I'm wrong, I'll put a little text description here of what the actual price was. But yeah, PCB is very nicely designed. Double-sided. And yeah, layout looks pretty reasonable. And looks like they're reading the buttons probably as a matrix, because there's not enough pins on the microcontroller to read each button independently. So it's probably scanning them as a matrix. And yeah, I'd like to see... the main controller, I don't think it's like a 18 mega yet. It's an IAP 15W413AS. I don't know what that is. I think it's like a ST micro processor or something like that. It would be really cool. I'd have to look up the pinout, but I wonder if I could stick a regular like 18 mega in here. That'd be really cool, and then I could basically turn this into an Arduino development platform and write my own apps for it. But yeah, we can see the processor here is 28 pins, it looks like. So the exact same pin count as an ATmega 328P, but probably the pinout's going to be different. We have a bunch of screws for assembling undoubtedly the case and everything. And then we have like a header for the LCD. So that's actually really nice. It's removable. We have the battery contacts there. We have what appears to be some TO92 case size transistor looking things, some resistors, oh yeah, some ceramic capacitors, and a diode it looks like. So yeah, I don't have any instructions, and I just realized that I have the keycaps for the clear ones, but I don't have any of the legends. So I might have to actually write my own and cut them out. Okay, so it's a bit more of a project. I was under the impression that it came with the like a sheet for what each of the buttons labels are, but looks like I need to make my own. So yeah, I guess I'll just get this together. Okay, I see what's happening now. So these blue parts are the bottom parts of the buttons. They actually plug into the tack switches, and then these white parts snap over them. And you're supposed to put your own label in between. So yeah, looks like I'm gonna need to make my own label, but let's just go through and solder everything first and, you know, figure that part out. Then I'll worry about the actual assembly of it and labeling everything afterwards. So this part I'm just gonna speed through. So let's get to it. Okay, so here we are, fully assembled. I still have the protective film over the LCD. But yeah, so let me just put this way. These two kits, this one was like, I'm pretty sure it was like pretty well sub of $10. I think this was like $6 or something like that last I checked. So that's the price of that. For this kit, I believe this was like under 20. It was definitely under 20. I think it was closer to about the $15 mark. So let me just get this out of the way. These are fantastic kits for the price. And you get something that's kind of cute or actually useful out of it. So if you have, you know, your kid assemble one of these kits to learn how to solder and whatever, it's a fantastic value proposition. This little guy, I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. It's very adorable. Let me put it that way. It does not come with batteries. You will need two CR2032s. The dollar store down the street has them for $1, two for $1. So an extra $1 for expense for batteries. But yeah, this was adorable. It plays Christmas music. There's like 8 or 10 different songs on it, and it randomly selects one when you turn it on. There's a handful of surface mount LEDs, and if you guys haven't seen, I posted a shorts video about this, demonstrating it working on Christmas night. Actually, I think it was that I posted that. But yeah, really cool kit. I really like this, and it was actually fairly easy to solder too. If your kid isn't so dexterous, you might maybe want to solder there's only a handful of LEDs, to be fair, and they're only 2 lead devices. But they do have a directionality. You do have to solder them in the correct orientation. So maybe if you're getting this for a kid who's not so, you know, I wouldn't necessarily do that as a first time surface mount soldering thing. So mom or dad might want to solder just the LEDs and then have, and also actually while you're at it, the surface mount transistor down there and maybe some of the resistors. Have them solder that, and the kids can solder, you know, the dip chip, the through hole, switches, the actual side panels, and the buzzer and the battery contacts. So yeah, this wasn't particularly hard for me to solder, but I can definitely see people who haven't done surface mount stuff might find this a little bit difficult, but you know, it wasn't too bad either way. And the main course, this kit, this was really fun to solder, honestly. The only problem is mine was missing the all the labels. So I shot them an email, and they sent me the PDF, which I actually have here. You can see I cut out one of these. They give you 2 of these that you can print. They're identical. But I cut out the bottom one in order to put in here. But yeah, you can see like the instructions are, you know, very good actually, honestly. They give you a lot of information, and they do include a printout of this, but in case you're like me and you just have crap luck, you don't get one, you can just shoot them an email and they'll send you the file. It's just a PDF. But yeah, they even give you the schematic for the circuitry. It uses a little microcontroller in there. And yeah, there's apparently a detailed manual if you scan that QR code. And it is a little bit, it takes a little bit getting used to the user interface, because they cram a lot of features into the same buttons. A lot of the buttons will have like multiple features that they do different things in different modes. The different modes we can just use it as a basic 4-function calculator. Very simple. It doesn't have a lot of decimal points. Function 2 is actually really cool. It's resistor color codes, and that's why they have all these different colors spelled out there for each of the buttons. So you can have this if you use a lot of through-hole resistors and you have good enough eyes to at least see them, but don't have all the codes memorized. You can actually plug it in here and it'll tell you exactly what value each resistor has. This is not so useful for surface mount, obviously, because there are no, well, I mean, it sort of is if you think about it. There's no colors on surface mount resistors, but all the numbers are still the same. You type in 102, then it's going to tell you 1K, so obviously it would still kind of work, but the colors are kind of pointless for a surface mount. Function 3, it lets you calculate the series resistor necessary for an LED. That is pretty useful. I mean, you could do that just with the regular basic calculator mode, but this will kind of guide you through it with the terminology of these. So that could be useful, not necessarily for me, but maybe for someone else. And probably more useful for me is decimal to hex or hex to decimal calculation. Now, I made a little calculator that I actually use still to this day. A couple years ago I made this, like 3 years ago or so, and I still use it. I like physical calculators. I know you can do it in the Windows calculator thing. You can switch to programmer mode. That's a pain in the butt. I just like having a physical calculator. So that's fantastic. And apparently function 5 is the arithmetic square root calculator, which, fair enough. Okay, turn this back on. Has one of these. I actually probably should turn that. There you go. So you can actually see the screen. So it starts up. I believe it remembers what mode you were in, as long as the batteries don't die and you don't pull the batteries. So I left it in calculator mode, so we can just do 1 + 2 = 3, etc., etc. Here you can see it'll only go to 3 decimal places, or 4 significant figures. So it doesn't give you a lot, but it's good enough as just a generic calculator. It works just fine. If we go into the second mode button, that would help. Okay, I got a little bit confused because apparently if you press this button here that has like the up-down symbol, it switches depending on whether you're looking at a 4-band color code or a 5-band. So I was trying to enter a 4-band because those are all the ones that I use, and it kept giving me an error and like giving me nonsensical stuff. So, and that was because it was waiting for like a 5th button press that I wasn't entering. So if I do brown, black, red, you can see it says 1000, which is true. It'd be 1 kiloohm. And if I click gold, then it says 5% tolerance. So yeah, it's pretty simple, but I mean, hey, it works. Next one, if I click mode, we could do a resistance calculator for an LED. So, okay, I figured it out. Okay, so say our supply voltage is 5 volts, or LED forward drop voltage is 3 volts. That would be 5 minus 3 is 2. If you press this button, it doesn't tell you. It basically the icon went down here. So now, say I want to enter 20 milliamps. And then I hit enter. Now it says for this for a diode with the 3 volt drop that we entered here, the 20 milliamp current that we desire, you need a 100 ohm resistor. So a lot of this is kind of cryptic, and you do, I guess, have to memorize how to use this. It doesn't necessarily do everything intuitively, but I mean, it does work. It just takes kind of getting used to. So for example, if I enter hex, so I can enter, let's see, Okay, so it's base 10. I wonder why does it say hex on both? That's weird. Anyway, obviously this side's supposed to be decimal, and this side's supposed to be hexadecimal. So base 16, base 10. So 10 in decimal is 0xa in hexadecimal. Fair enough. So what if I wanted to go the other direction? So if you click that arrow button, it switches them. So now base 16 here and base 10 here. So now if I type A, it's 10. So yeah, that's correct. And I can just switch that. It's weird that it says hex on both. I wonder if that's like a typo or they didn't, I don't, this side should say decimal. That's just weird. Anywho, and we go back around and we are back to calculator. So this mentions like there's a fifth function arithmetic square root calculator. That's just the same as function 1. It's just part of the calculator, the main calculator calculation. So, okay, 16 square root equals 4. Yeah, true. So yeah, and there's no way to manually shut this off. You just have to wait out the timer. This takes 2 coin cells, which they did very nicely include the coin cell, both coin cells, so that you can install them as soon as you're done soldering this, and you're good to go. Yeah, overall, pretty happy with this kit. It wasn't too expensive, and I'm probably not the target market for something like this. I'll just use a graphing calculator because I have graphing calculators at the wazoo. But yeah, for like a kid who who's I guess interested in calculators and like soldering stuff, this would be a really nice gift for them. Teach them how to solder, and then they get a working, though a little bit difficult to learn to use calculator, but yeah, it's yeah, there we go, it shut off. But yeah, it takes a little bit of practice learning how it expects you to enter certain things for the different functions and whatnot. But yeah, definitely you'd pick that up pretty quick if you use this for about a week. Anywho, once again, I'd like to thank ICStation for sending these 2 kits in to solder and to demo for you guys. It was actually really fun. They make really nice kits. I like their products. They're like very competitively priced. I've made many videos about their products in the past. And so, yeah, and I've always had a really good experience. If I ever had any technical troubles, I just reached out and I get an email within the day. Usually, like, pretty easily fixing whatever issue that I had. So anyway, if you guys are interested, I'll put a link down below to these specific kits, or just check out any of their kits. They have like tons of clock kits and whatnot, and like little robotics things and all that kind of good stuff. So anywho, hopefully you guys are having a happy new year, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.